Merrill Kelly is finally back, but that does bring with it some mixing up of the roster. And we're also going to talk about some breaking news for players on the injured list that we were not expecting.
You are Locked On Diamondbacks, your daily Arizona Diamondbacks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up? I'm Daynen Biggs. Yesterday's game against the Orioles didn't quite pan out the way we wanted it to. So we're going to talk about that, as well as some things that, like what we might be able to expect from a D-backs team if the offense continues to improve the way it has been. But first, we're going to talk today about the latest and greatest news, which is Merrill Kelly's return to the starting rotation, as well as all the moves that have accompanied that. So Merrill Kelly is officially back in the rotation. He's going to be starting in the game today against the Baltimore Orioles. It is his first time ever not just pitching in Baltimore, but also his very first time visiting. This will finally be his he will have finally been to all 30 baseball fields in MLB. So it's his first appearance at Camden Yards. So that's kind of cool. But you bring a guy off of the 60-day or off of the IL, you put people on the IL, you need to mix up, you bring an extra guy onto the 26-man roster, you need to remove a guy from this 26-man roster. You put a guy in the starting rotation, you have to remove a guy from the starting rotation. Yesterday, I said it's the clear answer of who to remove from the starting rotation was Brandon Pfaadt. And that's exactly what happened. However, what I was saying was he still has a minor league option. So I was saying, well, don't send him to the bullpen. Just send him to the minors, send him back to Reno so he can still be a major league, he can still be a starting pitcher and not have like that weird transition to bullpen, back to starting pitcher if needed and so forth. However, that does not seem to be what they have done, as they have indeed sent Brandon Pfaadt to the bullpen, and he's going to be working out of the bullpen in long relief. And because now we've sent an additional person to the bullpen, somebody has to leave the bullpen, and that will be Taylor Rashi, who pitched in yesterday's game, gave up a very sizable amount of the lead. We're going to talk about that in the next segment, though. I'm not going to go into it too much. He has been very good, and even yesterday's game definitely wasn't great, but it was against a very good offense, which again, we're going to talk about that more later. But some other news: Gabriel Moreno was officially placed on the 10-day IL. This isn't a big surprise. We knew this was going to happen. And it was set retroactive to Saturday, which is the 11th, which means he could be back as soon as the 21st, which is in a week from today. And that might be the case. They have been kind of downplaying it, like the issue. So he may be back pretty soon. But in the meantime, catcher Aramis Garcia, Aramis, I actually don't remember how to say his name. I looked it up once and I cannot remember. Garcia has been selected from AAA Reno, and he will be getting what I believe is his major league debut. No, it is not his major league debut. He's got quite a lot of experience, actually. Not a full season. He's never played a full season, but he has come up and played a few games here and there. The most he played was in Cincinnati in 2022, when he had played 47 games, had a .213 batting average over there. So we'll see how he does. He was looking pretty good in spring training. He had some really good stuff. So we'll see what he's able to do. I'm not expecting a ton of action from him. I think he'll mostly be a bench guy, a backup catcher if needed. But we still have Del Castillo. We still have James McCann. James McCann's been heating up a little bit lately, so I imagine that's probably what's going to be going on. But the biggest news, I think, that I really was not expecting was that Pavin Smith was transferred from the 10-day IL to the 60-day IL. We hadn't really gotten any news on Pavin Smith yet. He had been on the 10-day IL for a good while. with left elbow inflammation, which he kind of started the season with, played a few games, and then very quickly was moved. And apparently they needed to make space on the 40-man roster. And apparently he's not going to be good to play for a couple months. So that's unfortunate news. Pavin Smith has been improving very dramatically over the last few years, but his ability to stay healthy was a huge hindrance last year and appears like it'll be the same this year, which is very unfortunate. But Merrill Kelly is back, as we mentioned. That's the big news. It's good news. We're very happy about that. He was set to start first of all, he was tabbed to be the opening day starter, which would have been the first of his career. However, during spring training, before his first spring training start, he was warming up and felt some back tightness, pulled himself from the game, and they went and checked it out and determined it to be intercostal. What's the actual thing? Intercostal back issues. I don't remember. I have it written right here, but I can't find it. Oh, intercostal nerve irritation. Sorry. So there it is. So it took him out of the spring training roster for a while, but he was still able to make a few starts during spring training. However, was not quite able to ramp up appropriately to be able to get a start. Merrill Kelly didn't look necessarily like stellar during those spring training outings, but it was reps. It was seeing if he could pitch without hurting himself. And he was able to do that very well. He did throw a handful of backlot games. He threw bullpen sessions. And recently on April 3rd, which was 11 days ago, threw a game in AAA Reno where he threw 72 pitches and which equated to 5 innings and didn't give up any runs. He gave up 2 hits and walked 2 batters and struck out 2 guys. He did hit a batter as well. So it wasn't like perfect or anything, but a good outing nonetheless. 0 runs in 5 innings, and it is AAA, so keep that in mind. But he was looking good, so he is going to be back. Since then, he did throw a bullpen session, which he was saying that he was a little frustrated because he was like, "Why do I need another rehab outing? I'm like ready to go." But he said, I just felt like I was ready, but obviously it's not my decision. It's up to the organization. Obviously, I wanted to be back with the team, help the team. I felt like I was healthy, but at the end of the day, one more is not going to make or break anything. So there we go. And then Torey Lovello also just expressed his gratitude to Merrill Kelly for working hard and doing what he had to do to get healthy, and we're excited to see him. As Tate mentioned yesterday, Merrill Kelly, I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit worried that Merrill Kelly is going to return and take a while to get back into the groove of things. But as Tate pointed out, Merrill Kelly had an injury last season and came back and was amazing right out the gate. So there's a very good chance that that's the case, and I hope it is. But we'll see today. And against a very talented Orioles offense, which is kind of what lost us the game yesterday. And we're going to dive deeper into that, actually, because we saw for the first time in 2026, the 2025 Diamondbacks, which was good offense and not a good bullpen. It's tax time, but for a lot of us, the old ways of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers, emailing back and forth, and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find a store near you and book your appointment. And we're back. And I want to say thank you so much for making Locked On Diamondbacks your first listen of the day. It means the world to me. And don't forget to check out the Everydayer Club for ad-free episodes, access to a group chat with me and other listeners of the show. Tap the link in the show notes, or you can go to lockedondiamondbacks.supercast.com. Until now, the Diamondbacks have been living in a strange mirror dimension where they can't get any offense going, but have had some of the best bullpen arms in the game. And the craziest part is they're actually winning games, but the wins won't last forever if they can't get over their offensive struggles. Yesterday finally saw our heavy hitters contribute in a big way, but we also saw our bullpen slip for the first real time this year, blowing a 7-1 lead, giving up 8 runs in 3 innings. Is this a bad sign of things to come, or is this maybe a good sign that we're headed in the right direction? Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that the bullpen blowing up was a good thing. It wasn't. But it didn't feel like a sign of things to come. As we mentioned, this Orioles team is extremely offensive. As we mentioned yesterday, it's offensive. Their offense, that is very, very good. They lead the league in home runs, and they showed us that yesterday. It was going to be a real true test for our pitching staff to see how they could do against a team with really good offense. The starting pitching, Ryan Nelson, I think did a very good job. He powered through. He got through 5 innings, and was it just 5 innings? I'm brain farting all of a sudden. He got into the 6th inning. That was what it was. Got into the 6th inning and only had given up 1 run. After all was said and done, he was only credited with 1 earned run. He did give up 2, though. Only 3 hits throughout the entire game. One of them was, I think his first hit was a triple that scored Blaze Alexander, of all people. And I believe that was the unearned run because it was a walk or a hit by pitch. I don't quite remember. I was watching the game while I was going to the dump with my daughter, and she was watching the game and telling me what was happening. So I think that was a part where she was telling me what happened, but my 6-year-old daughter, but anyway, Ryan Nelson did great. Taylor Rashi, who has been great up till now, came in to not the best situation. Ryan Nelson didn't leave the 6th perfectly. Pete Alonso got a double, and then he struck out the next batter. After that, they brought in Taylor Rashi, who gave up a single, a walk, and then a grand slam. That one was very rough because this is half an inning after the Diamondbacks saw their second home run from their second player, Nolan Arenado, of all people. And so we were riding high, and then just like that, boom, we were worse off than we started the inning. So not great stuff there. Taylor Rashi finished out the inning. He did get two outs after that. But then Jonathan Loaisiga came in with we're leading by 1. First batter, he hits. Second batter, Pete Alonso hits a home run and makes it 7-8, Baltimore leading. He gets 2 more outs, walks a batter, and then Andrew Hoffman comes in to get the final out. And then the next inning, first batter, Jeremiah Jackson hits another solo home run off of Andrew Hoffman. So not a very good outing for anybody. No Diamondback pitcher escaped yesterday without giving up an earned run. And it was pretty rough. However, not a single Diamondback pitcher gave up more than 3 hits. Nelson gave up 3 hits in 5 1/3 inning. Rashi gave up 3 hits in 2/3 of an inning. Loaisiga 1 and Hoffman 1. So it really did end up being that long ball, which is what the Orioles seem to really be thriving on right now. And maybe it's a Camden Yards thing, because on the flip side, and we'll talk more about this in the next segment as well. We are going to talk about the good stuff, I promise. But Ketel Marte, Nolan Arenado, I mean, Ketel Marte isn't as big of a surprise. His second leadoff home run of the road trip, but then a second home run later on, and then Nolan Arenado with a 2-run home run, followed by another Nolan Arenado 3-run home run. So the Diamondbacks got all their runs from home runs as well. So pretty cool stuff, pretty exciting. The Diamondbacks out-hit the Orioles 10-8. And we saw a lot of really good production from everybody. Carroll got a hit. Perdomo walked. Del Castillo got a hit. Vargas got 2 hits. Vargas, man, is a beast. He is awesome. Every time he would come up, I would tell my daughter, "Ooh, this guy's been really good lately," and then he would get a hit. It was super cool. Arenado again went 2 for 4, and then Barroso went 2 for 4. So you can't really complain. Barroso and Vargas got extra base hits. It was good stuff. It was a fun game. It really did implode from the bullpen, which is what we expect from the Diamondbacks after last year, but not really what we expect from the Diamondbacks so far this year. It was a very strange thing. And I think if I had to throw out anything, I would say Taylor Rashi is still a young arm. He's still getting, doesn't have a ton of experience in the majors. He had 10 games last year, and he's only had 3 games this year. And he didn't give up any runs until this last game. So he's pitched in nearly 4 innings and gave up 0 runs, except for in that 1 inning where he gave up a grand slam. So pretty rough. And he's only given up 3 hits total. Like, he hasn't given up, like, it's not like he's constantly walking guys and giving up hits and it's always a struggle. He's walked 1 guy and he's given up 3 hits. So he's definitely got what it takes. But he does, I think with him, it's the sort of thing where maybe as long as the book isn't out on him, he's very solid. But then once the book does get out on him, or if he gets in his head or something, then maybe he starts to slip a little. I'm not sure. But I think I'm expecting a short trip to Reno, and then he'll be back. Loaisiga, on the other hand, has been solid. I say with like that implied question mark, He's been good, but he has had a handful of games now where he's blown a lead, and it's usually just from a series of hits. Yesterday was his first home run given up, which I would excuse if that was the only time that had happened. But against the Mets, he gives up an earned run on 2 hits, and against the Braves, he gave up an earned run off of 3 hits, both in 1 inning. He gave up 2 hits against the Tigers as well, but got out of it without giving up any runs. And against the Dodgers, he pitched 2 games, only gave up a hit between those 2 games. And but he was looking like he had returned to form a little bit against the Phillies, pitched an inning each, didn't give up a single hit in those, struck out the side against the Phillies on Friday. So Loaisiga seems to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I almost feel like, hey, maybe let's just not put Loaisiga in when we're leading by 1. So it's kind of like with Paul Sewald. He does really well if it's a save situation. If we're tied or losing, don't put Paul Sewald in because he will just make it worse. That's at least what the numbers show. And then Andrew Hoffman, he's been solid. I'm not gonna rail on him or anything. That was his first earned run yesterday, was off of that solo home run. He did give up an unearned run against the Mets in 2 innings in his previous outing. But other than that, he's only given up 3 hits total. 4 hits total. And he has given up 5 walks. So that's maybe not ideal, but 8 strikeouts, a pretty good guy. A whip of 1.15, a whip of 1.13. So Andrew Hoffman's looking pretty good. I'm not too worried about him. Again, I think this was their first look at a ball club. I don't know. a baseball team that really knows how to hit home runs, really has good offense, and this bullpen has been facing teams that maybe don't have the best offense, and so have been excelling. They need to take what they saw yesterday and they need to apply it to today's game. That's going to be the real trick. Offense, though, I mean, we're up against a pretty darn good pitcher in Trevor Rogers. He's had a really good outing in his first 3 games. Very low whip, 1.05, ERA of 1.89. He's 2-0. So looking pretty good. He goes deep into his games. So it looks like 5 to 7 innings per outing. So he's going to be a tough one. Left-handed pitcher. So we're probably not going to see guys like Alek Thomas today. Oh, you know what? Actually, we have the lineup, don't we? Let's go ahead and pull that up. Right now we have Vargas, Carroll, Perdomo, Fernandez, Arenado, Baker, interesting, McCann, Tawa, and Barossa. So that game's getting ready to start here in just a little bit. So that's going to be exciting. We really just want to see if our offense can continue that upward trajectory and if our pitching can hold their own against this very talented Baltimore team. But let's talk a little bit more about that offense and what we are hoping for and what we think we can expect from them in the next handful of games. If you've ever opened a bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can get overwhelming very fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending so you can actually see where your money is going, and you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. As we mentioned again, the Diamondbacks went off in a big way yesterday. Very exciting stuff. 2 players with 2 home runs, and they're players that we really do need to get hot. Nolan Arenado, I am not expecting, like at the beginning of the season, I was like, I don't expect a super high batting average from this guy. But if he had a good slugging percentage, a good OPS, that would be stellar. Hasn't happened up till now, but it's slowly ticking up there. His batting average is out of the ones finally. It's at 204 as of now. So that's good. It's higher than Perdomo and Thomas. So that's better. And his OPS is also creeping up a little bit. It was in like the 300s. It is now at 547. So he has been hitting RBIs lately. He got his first RBI one day, got a second the next day, and then he got 5 RBIs yesterday. So if he can continue that going into today, or just at least the rest of this road trip and the games in the future, that'd be great. And then we have Ketel Marte, who has been heating up as well. He is being a lot more patient at the plate. It looks much, much better. He's not swinging outside of the zone nearly as often. It's not perfect, but he's still doing much, much better, way better than he was at the beginning of the season. Showing a lot less frustration, which is good. Corbin Carroll still doing really great. Want to see maybe a little bit more power from him, but I think he's got that in him, and I'd love to see him go off on that. The only one that really hasn't caught fire yet is Geraldo Perdomo. He's not doing terrible, though, as Tate pointed out yesterday. His batting average is very low. It's 148, but his on-base percentage is 284, which is, I mean, it's not what we had last year, but it's still pretty good. The guy gets on base a lot. What we've been seeing a lot from him, though, is a lot of swinging at the first pitch. He's trying to be aggressive and he's trying to get ahead of things, and it really just is not really working. A lot of flyouts, a lot of ground outs. He's just not barreling the ball right now. So hopefully an adjustment can be made there, which it desperately needs to be made, because when Perdomo is on, he is on, and it really does lift the rest of the team. When Gabriel Moreno comes back, that's also going to be a huge boost to this team. But in the meantime, Jose Fernandez is still doing what he does and is really, really great. He went 0 for 4 yesterday for like the first time in a long time. It was very weird to see him not getting on base every other time. Del Castillo proving to be effective in the moments that matter the most. He's not necessarily, I don't know, I guess I would say he's not necessarily the kind of guy that I'm like, ooh, he's up, he's going to get a hit. But he is the kind of guy where it doesn't surprise me when he does get a hit, and a very good one, like RBIs, and it's very clutch. Alek Thomas, he's slowed up a good deal. He hasn't quite gotten back to form like he was in spring or in the World Baseball Classic. We won't be seeing him today unless it's as a pinch hitter, but him we're wanting to see a little bit more from. But then Jorge Barrosa, he's continuing to kill it, getting extra base hits, showing that he really does have what it takes. His average is still fairly low. It's 231. He's not necessarily, I wouldn't say he's like explosive or like rookie of the year caliber kind of guy, but he is doing really well, and excited to see him continue to do that, especially as a switch hitter, something we really need. And somebody in the outfield to match with Carroll, I think is very, very needed as well. James McCann, another guy who has been improving as the year is going on. Kind of like Arenado, not somebody we expect to be getting hits every single time he goes up, but it definitely is frustrating seeing him just strike out in 3 pitches every single time. He is showing a lot of improvement there. He's getting extra base hits. He's getting home runs, and he's proving that he is a very valuable member of the team. He's doing very well defensively as well. So that's a good one to see. And then Ildemar Vargas, the dude is still just crushing it, doing amazing. He has 15 hits, 5 RBIs, a home run, and only 37 at-bats. Like, remember, he hasn't been playing quite as much as everybody else has. With Santana on the injured list, he's been playing just about every day. But yeah, again, 37 at-bats, 15 hits. He still has an average over 400. It's 405 and an OPS of 1.085. So Ildemar Vargas is absolutely killing it. So very cool, very exciting. Let's go ahead and take one more look at today's lineup before we wrap up. We have Ildemar Vargas, Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, Jose Fernandez, Nolan Arenado, Luken Baker, Doctor Who fan here, sorry, James McCann, Tim Tawa, and Jorge Barrosa. So we're going to leave you guys with that because the game is actually underway. If you guys are watching this live, the game is going on right now. This was kind of a later episode with just breaking news and also just getting to the camera, getting to the microphone, ready to record. So thank you so much for sticking around, for being here. We love you guys. Be sure to follow us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Locked On Diamondbacks. We're on YouTube as well as every other place you get your podcasts. If you want to see more of me, you can find more of my YouTube channels and projects at my website, slackshack.tv. And if you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Diamondbacks ad-free, plus members only Discord access and more. Head to lockedondiamondbacks.supercast.com to join the club. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.